artificial ripening is CAC2, that is calcium carbide, which is has been banned in so many countries, and in fact it's still commonly used anyway, but then it has been banned. And then what does that mean for Nigerian farmers who would actually harvest, sell to people who actually use these chemicals to actually ripen their goods artificially and then sell to the people?
Well, I think it's a great development, and for the Senate to move a motion to protect public health and encourage natural, safe method to ripe our edibles, making sure that violators face jail time or face pay fines. Of course, well, those perfected mangoes, bananas that we say, like some say actually said, is actually being preserved with this calcium carbide.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, that has caused a lot of harmful effects to our health. And some people will tell you, oh, I'm having a headache, I'm having this, I'm having that. And it has so many things that it has brought to people's life. I mean, in health, health-wise, you have some people have cancer that
kidney issues. Yes, a lot of these chemicals, you know, pose threats. I mean, why should you even use chemical to ripen fruit? You know, the fruit has processes of ripening. It gets to a point, it's like this. You see the change of color and the taste. Do you know when they even use this calcium carbide? You can detect from the taste.
Yes,
you can.
Especially
so
banana.
It's not natural. Oh God, you just took it out of my mouth.
Especially from banana.
Especially, you know, I'm even so skeptical. I bought bananas like that, and I was now very skeptical of buying bananas because, you know, when you look at them, at some point I had to study and look at them, especially from, I'm sorry, permit me to say, especially from the northerners here in Ibadan. I noticed that it happens to with everybody, but I just noticed from northern people, you know, they actually use that carbide, and I don't know, we are in a hurry to ripen it. Why?
We are in a hurry to sell.
To sell quickly. But forgetting that, you know, this poses
dangerous
health risk.
Yeah, even for buyers, you should know that food like that, food items that are actually ripened artificially tend to lose important vitamins like vitamin A and vitamin C, which is quite important for you as a person. So if you are buying such goods, and even you as an individual, if you still, you know, are in the act of actually doing that to your own food, not to talk of you buying from people who have actually done that, that means you should stop.
You know, let's just, I don't want to digress, but I want to just say this. You know, there was a time it was painkillers used to cook meat. And then you see every day people are dying. You have kidney cancer. Where is this coming from? Sometimes it's from things like this. Even the fruits, you see some, what are we talking about? Talking of fruits alone. What of foods like beans? Sometimes they use this insecticide and all because of the weevils found in beans. And this is really terrible.
I think the government should also look into the area of strict rules, strict measures to actually curb this. And of course, there should be enough sensitization and awareness of cigarettes.
Because even if you listen, watch the Senate president saying, you know, you have to jail some people. If you don't do something, you have to just do something.
Some people actually have to serve as deterrents to others. If you don't do that,
well, to me, in all, farmers and sellers, fruit sellers might switch to another method of ripening fruits for us to have a healthy life. Please be cool.
Health is important. Health is wealth. Okay, moving on the global stage, today marks the International Day to End Obstetric Fistula, condition that still affects thousands of women, especially in undeserved communities. We'll be looking at how Nigeria is tackling this and what more needs to be done.
Well, that is one big topic that you know, hasn't really gotten the attention it deserves in recent times, especially in the area of prolonged labor, which we're talking about. It is quite important. It happens mostly to young adults, you know, during child labor, which is for me, I think the government should look into that because when you look at the causes, you realize even the government is complicit to this. If there is, you know, in an aspect where you feel like the health practitioners in some places are not as qualified as they should be, and then they are in the business of, you know, delivering babies and pregnant women, then you begin to ask questions. How did we get here? You know,
all right, you actually know when we talk of obstetric fistula, it's one of the most serious and Will I call it tragic?
Not tragic, well,
yes,
issues
most
found
serious
in
and tragic, yes, childbirth injuries. And what causes it, it's like they say, a hole to the bladder, sorry, the birth canal and the bladder or rectum. And this is caused mostly by prolonged and obstructed labor without access to timely and high quality medical treatment.
Well, that is when you hear, oh, we need to go through CS. And some people will tell you, God forbid. Well, going through CS is not something that is a big thing, but to some people that are a big thing. But remember that there is something, maybe the doctor has seen something, and that's why the doctor is calling for CS. But this year theme is breaking the cycle and preventing fistula worldwide. All
right, and when you talk about obstetric fistula, this could also lead to, it causes leaks, urine leaks and feces, and in some cases both.
Recurrent infections.
Exactly, and in some cases, it leads to chronic health problems like depression. We have social isolation, and you'll be surprised
because there's stigmatization.
Yes, how can you just be leaking urine? You feel really isolated, feel one kind.
And then you begin to watch where you actually go to, so that you don't get.
And according to records, it's found that about 500 million women, and in sub-Saharan Africa, you talk of Asia, you talk about Arab region and states, you talk about Latin America, and even the Caribbeans are still living with this condition.
Well, then we head to our Daybreak News segment, where we'll bring you all the top headlines you need to know before stepping out, and that will be followed by our newspaper front page review, and we got the punchy covers and eye-catching headlines across Nigeria's major dailies.
And we don't just read the news, we break it down. Our newspaper analysis segment will unpack the angles behind the headlines. Expect a few surprises and probably some heated options.
Well, we'll be looking at how compressed natural gas, CNG, can be game changer Nigeria needs, with rising fuel costs and a push towards cleaner LNG. Adopting CNG could reshape transportation and power in this country. We'll hear from experts on this show.
And to close out the hour on the powerful note, we'll explore the theme of resilience in our final discussion centered on the inspiring book, Defying Expectation by Musliuddin Adebayo. It's a story of grit, purpose, and a journey to success against the odds.
Okay, grab your coffee or tea and settle in. Whether you're watching from home, at work, or on the move, we got something for everyone.
All right, let's start strong. Up next is Daybreak News. Don't go anywhere. Daybreak Live continues after this break. We'll be back.
All right, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
A very good morning to you. Welcome to Daybreak News on Dominion Television. I am Pat Aito. President Bola Tinubu has formally sworn in the newly constituted board of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and NPCL, appointing Bashiru Julari as the Group Chief Executive Officer and Amadu Kida as the non-executive chairman. The swearing-in ceremony held at the office of the President at the State House in Abuja shortly before the President proceeded to the All Progressives Congress National Summit at the Banquet Hall. The 11-member board included prominent figures from various geopolitical zones, reflecting a strategic blend of industrial experience and regional representation. President Bola Tinubu has officially submitted a 2025 appropriation bill for Rivers State to the National Assembly for consideration following the suspension of the State's House of Assembly. In a letter addressed to the Senate President Godswill Akpabio, the proposed budget totals 1.481 trillion naira, with major allocations aimed at revitalizing key sectors. Infrastructures topped the list with a proposed 324 billion naira, while the health sector is allocated 106 billion naira, including 5 billion naira earmarked for free malaria drugs, among others. All 22 governors elected under the platform of the All Progressives Congress APC have unanimously endorsed President Bola Tinubu as the party's sole presidential candidate for 2027 general election. The endorsement was announced by the chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State, at the APC National Summit held at the State House Banquet Hall in Abuja. Uzodinma moved the motion for Tinubu's adoption as the APC's sole candidate, which was seconded by the PGF Vice Chairman, Governor Uba Sani of Kaduna State. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Professor Natawe Yilwada, has revealed that 6 million Nigerians have benefited from the federal government's conditional cash transfer program within the past 6 months. Yilwada made the disclosure while addressing beneficiaries of the ongoing Skills to Wealth training program in Jos. He noted that only 2 million Nigerians had benefited from the CCT program over the previous 9 years, explaining that the ministry has since adopted a new, more efficient approach. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party LP in 2023 election, Peter Obi, has denied news report alleging that he met President Bola Tinubu in Rome over a debt allegedly owned by a commercial bank. He stated that the report was handiwork of blackmailers hell-bent on casting him in a bad light. Obi categorically stated that he had never sought an audience with nor met President Tinubu since he assumed office, except for a brief minute-long meeting at the arena of St. Peter's Basilica in Rome during the inauguration mass of Pope Leo XIV. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has warned that it will no longer entertain any form of delay in the trial of the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Justice James Omotosho, who noted that the case has dragged for about 10 years, later 6 different dates for the federal government, which is prosecuting Kanu on a 7-count terrorism and treasonable felony charge to wrap up its case. It will be recalled that Justice Omotosho took over the trial after the previous judge, Binta Yako, who was the 4th judge to preside over the case, withdrew from the matter after she was accused of bias by the embattled IPOB leader. And now to Oyo State, where Governor Seyi Makinde has approved the appointment of chairmen and members of the governing councils of state-owned tertiary institutions. The announcement was made by his Chief of Staff, Otumba Segun Ogunwoye. He stated some of the appointees to be Oyo State College of Education and latter chairman, Comrade Olusegun Oyewumi, College of Agriculture Igbora chairman, Dr. Amuson Gideon, the Polytechnic Ibadan chairman, Professor Lanre Nasser, among others. Governor Makinde congratulated the appointees, urging them to see their roles as a call to serve. So Lagos State now, where Lagos State Police Command has confirmed the death of a 60-year-old motorcycle operator Wasiu Adeniro, who was swept away by flood waters during a heavy downpour along the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway in Alakuko area of the state. According to a statement released by the Lagos State Police Public Relations Officer Benjamin Ahunde, the incident occurred on the 20th of May 2025. Rescue efforts were launched immediately and his motorcycle was recovered downstream that same evening. However, his body was later confirmed to have been found lifeless. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has announced the establishment of a dedicated artificial intelligence division within its Information and Communication Technology Department. The announcement was made in a statement issued by National Commissioner and Chairman of the Information and Voter Education Committee, Sam Olumekun, following the Commission's regular weekly meeting held in Abuja. The creation of the AI division comes after INEC's participation in several continental conferences addressing the impact of AI on electoral processes. And in business, the Dangote Petroleum Refinery has announced a fresh cut in the pump prices of premium motor spirit, popularly known as petrol, nationwide. The new rates now range from 875 naira to 905 naira per litre, depending on location. A breakdown of the revised prices shows Lagos 875 naira, Southwest 885 naira, Northeast 905 naira, Northwest and Central 895 naira, while South and Southeast 905 naira. The prices indicate a 15 naira reduction per litre across all regions and partner retail outlets, applying to all major fuel marketers in partnership with the refinery. Always know that you can visit our website on www.dominion.org.nj to watch us live and interact with us. You can also follow us across all our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn at Dominion Broadcast, and on X, Dominion Cast. And that was the Daybreak News. Thank you so much for watching. I am Pat Aito. Good morning. All right, welcome back. It's still Daybreak Extra on Dominion Television. We're saying welcome once again and good morning. Of course, this is where we'll keep you informed and abreast of latest breaking news and major development and key events shaping our worlds. You're welcome once again. So we'll begin with, we'll bring to you newspaper headlines and, of course, analysis in between. My name is Pat Aito, and
all right, we'll start with the Nigerian Tribune here for our headlines this morning. And the major story here says, APC adopts Tinubu as sole candidate for 2027. With the riders, governors, NAS members endorse him at party's national summit. I am expecting more defections into the ruling party, says President Bola Tinubu. And you can find the story on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune. All right, on the top part of the Nigerian Tribune today, Dangote refinery reduces petrol price again by 15 naira. Wow, only 15 naira? All right, you find the story on page 14 of the Nigerian Tribune. And also another story there says, Tinubu seeks NAS approval of 481 trillion naira 2025 Rivers budget. This story is on page 4. Federal government files criminal charges against Natasha over assassination allegation. Story is on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune. Also coming from the Nigerian Tribune, CBN's retention of 27.5% NPR disappointing, but logical, says Nasima chairman. You find the story on page 13 of the Nigerian Tribune. Also, federal government to inaugurate textile clusters in Lagos, agro-processing hubs in Kano, page 14 of the Nigerian Tribune. More stories from the Nigerian Tribune here. The Patriots National Constitution Summit, Southwest delegates and others converge in Lagos. You find the story on page 6. Also on page 13 of the Nigerian Tribune, Tinubu inaugurates NNPC board, tasks members with boosting oil output. Okay, Pat?
all right, away from the Nigerian Tribune, we head straight to the Guardian, and there's a big one there. Opposition kicks as Tinubu hails the faction APC endorsement, and that's on page 6 of the Guardian. And we have this from the Guardian. President submits 1.481 trillion naira Rivers appropriation bill to Senate. And still from the Guardian, we have defect with me to APC or resign governor. Eno tells its cabinet. And from the Guardian, we have this. The Patriots Southwest stakeholders demand new constitution, true federalism and equity. And that's on page 7 of the Guardian. And still from the Guardian, we have this: vacate our lands before June. Tiv Council tells elders. Okay. From the Guardian, we have the upper party of the Guardian coming the story. 2027 SDP's Adebayo rejects Atiku. May step down for Obi. And beside it, we have this: Akpabio Bello may testify as federal government files criminal charges against Natasha. And lastly, from the Guardian, we have Dangote slashes petrol price as independent marketers undercut price. That's on page 3 of the Guardian. So you want to read more? Pick up the Guardian this morning to read.
Okay, away from the Guardian, we go straight to Leadership Friday. And the major story there says, 2027, Tinubu is our sole candidate. APC governors, lawmakers declare. With the Riders National Working Committee affirms endorsement. I know the road to the promised land, says President Tinubu. Ganduje taunts PDP again, says party is grasping for breath. You can find the story on page 4 of the Leadership Friday. And on the top, Otedola hails Tinubu Cardoso's reforms as first hold company regains profitability, with the rider invested 320 billion naira so far on the back of First holds promising future. You find the story on page 18, or is that 13? Page 13 of Leadership Friday. Also coming from Leadership Friday, we have the story from the governor of Edo State, Okpebholo. They say Okpebholo flaunted court order on local government chairman, and the PDP is talking about this. And more stories for you on Friday, Leadership Friday. Just grab a copy and read on these stories.
Well, away from Leadership Friday, and we have this from Business Day. Naira lures foreign patient to private health care services, and that's a big banner there. We have Otedola hails Tinubu Cardoso's reforms as First Hold company regains profitability, with a rider invested 320 billion naira so far on the back of First Hold company's promising future. And from the Business Day, we have Bonny Light $14 above Brent on strong hold. Pick a copy of Business Day for more stories.
All right, still on newspaper headlines reaching you this morning from Daybreak Live on Dominion Television. We go to This Day newspaper, which says, President to new NNPCL board, use your experience to turn nation's economy around. And it has the riders, charges members to build on gains of ongoing economic reforms, and the nation's refineries production to rise from 1.5 million to 1.9 million barrels by the end of 2025. Ribadu, despite challenges, Nigeria's safer under Tinubu's watch, says 13,543 terrorists killed, 124,408 surrendered in 2 years. Discloses oil exploration to resume in Ogoniland 30 years after. Tinubu consolidates on expanding APC. Dwindling opposition weighs counter options. It has the riders. APC apparat checks endorse president as sole candidate for 2027. Don't blame people bailing out of sinking ship. I expect more defections, says Tinubu. Opposition coalition appoints Mark chair, Imoke Amechi also there. You can find the story on page page 3 or 5, not so clear, but it's reaching you from This Day newspaper. I'm sure the stories are quite interesting, so you grab a copy of This Day newspaper and read the full story.
Right away from This Day to Blueprint, we have this. Nothing is wrong with one-party state, Tinubu tells critics. With the rider, you are our sole candidate. Ganduje APC NAS caucus governors declare. And Ribadu explains the breakthrough in security. Idris rolls out cabal. That's on page 7. And Governor Eno, 23 Akwa Ibom lawmakers set to join APC in June, and that's on page 18 of the Blueprint. Moving on, we have NAS proposes 1.481 trillion naira 2025 budget for Rivers State, and NNPCL empowers 531 NYSC members with business starter parks grant. That's on page. Well, the page is not clear. Oh, page 8 of that paper. We have this. Defamation. Federal government files criminal charges against Natacha. And Dangote Refinery reduces PMS price again by 15 naira, now 875 naira per litre. And the last part of from the Blueprint says Nakon airlifts 36,359 pilgrims begins final phase of operation. All that you can get from the Blueprint newspaper.
All right, from the Blueprint newspapers, we'll go straight to the New Telegraph.
I think that's the last paper for us this morning.
Friday. Okay, 2027, still the usual story we've been reading. APC governors adopt Tinubu sole presidential candidate. With a lot of riders there, says vow to deliver states. Economic reforms working. APC not a failure, says Tinubu. Our goal to win and Nigerians trust, says Ganduje. Let's market APC's achievement. Abbas charges party faithful as Makinde's presidential posters flood Kano. You can find this very interesting story on page 2 and 7 of the New Telegraph. Killings. Benue monarchs give headsmen 10-day ultimatum to leave. You'll find the story on page 4. ESN, illegal security organization under Nnamdi Kanu, DSS tells court. You find this on page 30. Also from the New Telegraph, federal government, take that again. Federal government reviews trade policy tariffs engagement with the U.S. You'll find this on page 2, 3, and 5. And also, federal government files criminal charge against Natasha over alleged defamation of Akpabio and Bello. You also find this on page 4 of the New Telegraph. And I think that will be all today.
That will be all on the newspaper headlines.
Exactly.
But let's the one cartoon story there talking about 2027 APC governors adopt Tinubu sole presidential candidate, and the president is coming to say, oh, there's nothing wrong
with one-party state. And I mean, you've been hearing since that no, we're not turning Nigeria into a one-party state. So where is this coming from?
Well, I still feel something like we should give an what's it called, opportunity for other parties to thrive. For the president to be saying, I'm still expecting more defection.
Say people are leaving a sinking ship.
Is PDP sinking?
I'm wondering.
No,
well, at this rate,
it happens like that because they are not in the hands of affair. They are not in the hands of affair. So people want to reckon with the party that is actually ruling. And that I feel is happening. If PDP comes back now, you see some people will defect from from APC to PDP.
So
and the issue is, I really don't see any ideology. Do we have any party ideology? If we do, there won't be a mass defection as we speak right now.
Okay. So do you think these defections are actually weakening the PDP?
It is not. I
guess
so?
I
am not
at this rate.
I am not a political party person. Maybe from PDP or APC. I am not. I'm saying it. I'm saying
with the defections happening every day from PDP to APC, you think it's going to weaken the party, or it has weakened the party? So
who is APC? Who is PDP? We have the same bottle, the same wine in the fresh bottle. So the same content in that wine is still what you are saying.
Okay.
And that's why I am saying...
It's not fresh wine in the new bottle.
It is not fresh wine in the new bottle.
Wine.
Old wine.
Well, I think old wine tastes better.
It tastes better, but then you will still
we're talking about wine anyway.
You're talking about wine, but what I am saying is, if PDP should get to that place now, you see some of them will leave where they are now.
Where they are now and move. So our politicians...
So I am not saying Nigeria to be a one-party nation. I am not saying that's happening.
You're not saying that happening?
Not now, not soon, or not later.
Okay.
Well, a good one here from Dangote. Slashes fuel prices.
What is good about it? 15 naira.
15 naira.
You heard me when I said, why 15? Why not like 200 naira?
15 naira. We're coming there. We're coming there. Unlike when NNPC was still the one holding the whole directing, giving the directive and here and there. But now, Dangote is coming to like, okay, I'm slashing. And it will get to a stage where you will get to buy fuel for 200 naira per litre, even lesser.
Oh, I love your faith, Path. You have faith in Nigeria.
I have faith in Nigeria because it's my country.
Yes, wonderful.
Another one to talk about there. Well, let's move.
Well, we now have, you know, the new NNPCL board. I wish they work well.
They work well.
I hope.
You hope.
I hope. Yeah, I have to hope now.
But if you hope, what more would you expect them to do?
do better. Oh. Just like you said, that fuel will come down to
200 naira per liter or less.
That's the hope I'm having.
All right, going to this day now, we have Ribadu. Despite challenges, Nigeria safer under Tinubu's watch.
Because terrorists have been killed and some of them surrendered in 2 years.
Terrorists killed. And what happens in Benue? Why do we still have attacks in Benue, in Borno, Yobe, Zamfara? If
you can continue naming them.
If Ribadu is coming to say, despite challenges, Nigeria safer under Tinubu's watch.
Yes, maybe he's saying that for other administrations that have been there, it's not been as safe as it is now. Even though the killings are still going on, but a lot of terrorists have been killed.
Does they have statistics to
back
this up?
Well, this is what it says now about the 11,000, how many? 13,543 terrorists killed. And 124,408 have surrendered in 2 years. Maybe if you compare this to the other numbers, maybe this is higher. So he feels, okay, it's safer. But the issue still is insecurity is still there, whether we like it or not.
I watched Agenda, where Chike brought a retired military officer. And the man was saying, Chike asked, if you, as you're sitting, retired colonel, you're being made to be, you're being called to serve your country, to come and be chief of staff, what would you do? He said, Army staff rather, he said what he would do is, he would just ask the president, tell your political people to leave us alone. That the genesis of this problem has to start with the politicians, using them, and the promises you made to them, you did not fulfill. And those ones were like, oh, since you did not fulfill that, you won't be able to govern. And that's the genesis of this.
The genesis of the insurgency and terrorist issues.
And now for everybody to come and say, despite challenges, Nigeria is safer under Tinubu's watch.
All right. It's even good that he knows there are challenges, a lot of it. So if we're saying politicians, because even yesterday it was in papers that people are saying politicians are a part of it or sponsor, but still we do not get names. We never get names.
You will not.
Yeah.
But I remember there was a time. There was a time they were like, oh, there is the senator that is sponsoring them.
We only hear that, but who are these people? They're still there. I'm sure they're still in office controlling things. Because if you look at these Boko Haram, like we say every day, the weapons they use, it's not here. Sophisticated weapon that even the Nigerian army may not even have. So, how do you go to war with such people? For some people, it's like you cannot eradicate terrorism.
In fact, there was a story I read that a woman said he would not advise anybody, our loved ones, to join any of the forces. Yes, like you said, that the equipment they have is more powerful.
So how do they get there? Exactly. If they don't have sponsorship from strong people, how will they get such equipment? Wow, it is where?
Well, very soon, I mean, not very soon, May 29, we'll get to listen to President's scorecards and how he has done, what he did, or what he would do after 2 years, and what he has done so far.
And then he will tell you, Fokobale.
We Fokobale as well.
Okay.
All right, still from the newspaper, and we have this. Okay, still the same thing, and we have defects with me to APC or resign. That's Governor Eno tells his cabinet. That's from The Guardian.
So it's now by force, by fire, by force, as we say in Nigeria.
It's not by fire, by force. It's just saying his own.
And now, wherever I go,
so
you follow
if
me.
Anyone,
but normally that's what happens, you know, most times. So I think maybe these people are trying to feel they will not go with him. So he has told them, defect with me or
what? I'll relieve you of your portfolio or what? Well,
is the man in charge now.
You don't need to force people to join.
You don't need to, but in this case, it's showing that you have to do as I say.
If you want to remain in that portfolio of yours.
If not,
well.
And you know, still the same with this, and you know, from Tribune says APC adopts Tinubu as sole candidate. You know, unopposed. Nobody's I don't even think anybody will have the mind to want to oppose him in APC.
No, how do you mean? Somebody can come
from the same APC. Oh. Okay.
Well, if you want to read more on this, why don't you grab a copy of all those newspapers? I mean, New Telegraph, Nigerian Tribune, This Day, Business
Friday
Day, and the rest to read more on the stories. Well, this is a convenient time for us to say our bye on this segment. Of course, up next will be a big story with Samson Balogo. Do well and enjoy the rest of your day. See you again.
Good morning and welcome to the big story on Daybreak Live here on Dominion Television. Today, we turn the spotlight on what could be a major turning point for Nigeria's energy future compressed natural gas, or CNG, as you would like to call it. As fuel prices soar and economic pressure mounts, many believe CNG may be the affordable, cleaner, and more sustainable solution we have been waiting for. But it is really the game changer Nigeria needs. Stay with us as we unpack the facts, engage experts, and explore the road ahead. Good morning once again. And of course, doing that this morning, I have a guest, and together we'll be doing justice to the topic as regards if CNG is the game changer Nigeria actually needs. Deji Oyinloye, a CNG expert, and of course, also an expert in cybersecurity, is with me here in the studio this morning. Deji, good to have you in the studio.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah.
Let's take a critical look at CNG and the current spate of consideration being given to compressed natural gas in Nigeria by this administration. Most people do not know that CNG has been there for time immemorial. Yeah. But all of a sudden, out of the blue, the government in power right now are saying, look, the best way to go is to go green, which is the adoption of compressed natural gas. Now, if I want to ask you this question this morning, I know it's a question so many people are really willing to listen to what you have to say about it. But then, as a CNG technician and expert, how do you reconcile the high cost of CNG conversion kits with the government's promise of affordable alternative energy under this Tinubu administration?
Yeah, thank you, President, for this. I had made it clear to the populace and to Nigerians that the government under the auspices of the President of Nigeria, President Tinubu, is doing a lot. One of the things he has done, I'll have to list it. The first thing he has done is that the President under his office has reduced, he removed, the what they call this, the custom fee. He made it zero custom fee for anybody bringing in CNG kit or infrastructure to the country, one. Number two is that just of recent, at close to a month now, under his office, the government has done a lot by converting what they call the commercial bus that runs on petrol, from petrol to CNG without paying a dime. What I mean is zero fee. So he has done a lot by, he can't reduce the cost of production because of those kits, the electronic components and the tanks were not manufactured in the country. They are imported from
so we still import the kits.
We still import it now, but under so he has done a lot by at least converting what they call this, the commercial car that runs on petrol to CNG without paying a dime for conversion.
So if you're talking about not paying a dime for conversion, there are still people out there who have been on the queue for God knows how long, trying to convert their vehicles to hybrid, which eventually uses petrol and still uses CNG. But then the cost, some say it's over ₦1 million if you want to do it individually. If you are converting your vehicle for over ₦1 million, what does that say for the common man who just has a car and wants to enjoy the benefits of using CNG?
Yeah, good. When we started conversion last year, because I was trained in Italy, when we started last year, April to be precise, the first time we went to fill our car, the car is outside there, we fill and we have to stay for additional 1 hour before another car came in to refill. We had disturbed that could this business sustain the test of time? But that didn't disturb us. We have to make it clear to that this kind of stuff, the cost of conversion is going down. Yeah, let me make it clear. So last year, it cost about 1.2 million to convert. I have to make it clear to you, based on the partnership we received from one of the foreign partners, it has reduced from 1.2 to 700,000 naira. I won't mention our company name, but I have to make it clear to you that government is trying all its best to make sure that the production comes to the cost comes to the right, that will be affordable by every Nigerian as low as 40,000 and 500,000 naira.
How long does it take to be on the queue?
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's another people have been complaining of. Yeah, I'm also part of people that experience it. Each time we go out to fuel, it takes about 2 weeks ago, it takes about 3 hours to fuel. Yeah, that we have to stay on queue. But as at 2 days ago, things have changed. I just drove in. I asked my staff to drove in within the span of 20 minutes. What happened was that another filling station has just opened in Ibadan. So now we don't need more. We don't need 30 filling stations, 30 CNG filling stations. Like 10 is okay. After we have like 10
whole of Ibadan.
Yeah, I have to make it clear to you. Like 10 Ibadan. Then from there, we move to other areas like Shaki or Yosoda, so that they can also have the feel of the CNG. It's
okay.
Also, yeah.
Okay. Now, do you think or believe the Tinubu administration has done enough to provide infrastructure for mass CNG adoption in the country? Because when we talk about installations for CNG conversion, there aren't too many of them in Nigeria as we speak. They are at some strategic places. And for the population in Ibadan, car owners in Ibadan, and who can actually afford to convert their cars. Now, do you think we have enough? Do you think this administration is doing enough to provide installation structures around Ibadan?
Yeah, good. Now, if I made it clear to you, now in about I think we have close to 30 approved CNG conversion centers in Ibadan. 30 approved. You can't just set up a CNG conversion outreach center and say you want to be converted for people. There are steps that need to be taken. Now, the target by PCNG, that was the Presidential Committee on CNG Native, their target is that they want to have close to 1 million conversion centers in Nigeria. So as at last month, I think about 30,000 cars has been converted, and the target is about 1 million in the next 1 year. So in terms of the infrastructure are there. Now, I won't mention the company name. When we are shortlisted to be part of the people that company that convert cars from petrol to CNG, we drove down to where we are giving a free kit. The kit that the government gave us worth over 30 million naira. Yes, free kit. And those kits are meant for commercial vehicles, commercial cars owners. So we have to be going from garage to convert it to sensitizing about this thing. Some are afraid that this thing explode. We really clear to them that CNG that we use, the gas is not the gas that we use. It's not the cooking gas. It's not LPG. It's a compressed gas. It's not the gas that just explode anyhow. So in terms of infrastructure that are there and the government. So let me go back to where we picked the kit. We saw a lot of what do you call this? Compressors. That's one of the things that is the most expensive when they are setting up a CNG filling station. Lots of things are there that the government has put in place to alleviate the problem of the masses. Baba said, Efra Bale, and is he doing it? He has to be fast. For us, and we have to make it clear to you, Baba is doing what no government in Nigeria has done from our side. Okay,
from your own point of view, you think is doing what no government has done in the country. Now, let me ask you this question. Do you think the government's push for CNG is a genuine solution to Nigeria or a diversion from bigger issues?
It's a permanent solution. Now, one of the things that made it clear.
Don't forget, some countries are already turning away from CNG.
Which country? Under the support, I have to make it clear to you that when we were trained in Italy, our company was trained in Italy, one of our staff was trained in Italy, with the support from Bishop Felix Olabi. Yeah, I made it clear to you. So he knew what, for us to support our company, he knew what the future owed for CNG. Last year, May, we were in Italy. Now, for us to travel down to Italy to go and learn how to convert, that shows that Italian government that could train us as the future for CNG and LPG. So LPG is not something, CNG is not something what the government just want to come to solve. It has come to solve the problem. Let me give you an analysis. If you want to travel from here, our company can run on CNG. Per week, I don't think we spend up to 10,000 now to fuel the gas. Compared to using petrol. Using petrol will cost not less than 60,000 or 80,000 per month, per week. That's that. Now look at the problem, the private car, the public car holder. Each time I go out to fuel, I ask them, what can you say about? Most of these guys, most of the commercial vehicle owners, they are pressing the government because the CNG has reduced the cost of production, cost of the lot of things that they need to have spent on.
Now, very quickly, let me take this. Malaysia initiated its CNG program in the late 1990s, primarily targeting taxis and airport limousines. However, by 2024, only about 44,383 vehicles, approximately 0.2% of the national fleet, were CNG powered. The government announced plans to phase out CNG vehicles by 2025, citing safety concerns related to aging fuel tanks and incidents of explosions during accidents. Additionally, the limited adoption rate and the cost associated with replacing old CNG tanks influenced the decision. Now, 1990s Malaysia as a country introduced CNG to the people, taxis, limousines at airports, and Nigeria is just doing that in the year 2025. Are we lagging behind in anything?
Possibly, I would say the first time I saw CNG was when I was outside the country. That's 2010. It's not new to me. That was when I was studying outside the country. I entered a taxi that was going, and I asked the person, not in Nigeria. So he drove down to the free station. I asked, what do you want to do? He said, I want to gas. Gas what? Why do you have to open your boot where you have to say now? Then I step out of the car and I look at it. That was 2010. Now, what caused the issue of Malaysia stepping out of...
Not just Malaysia,
which
including Pakistan, Brazil,
they're talking about the aging
Singapore,
fuel tank.
Tanzania,
yeah.
And now Nigeria has just joined.
Do they have enough deposit of CNG in the country? We have to ask them, we have to do a lot of research. The Singapore, the Pakistan, do they have it? Nigeria have it in mass. And now let me make it really clear.
We have the gas. But then do we produce the tanks here?
We don't.
That's the most expensive thing, one of the most expensive kits.
The government is coming is improving the level of infrastructure to make sure that we produce from the scratch in Nigeria.
If Nigeria is producing a level playing field, bringing in gas tanks, selling it at cheaper rate to the people for conversion, then what's the essence of removing fuel subsidy in the first place? Because that, for me, is equivalent to subsidy. Subsidizing it for the people, right?
Yeah, now let's look at it from this angle. Now, we received a foreign partner in our office about 2 days ago. Now, they brought a kit from Asia. Now, initially, if you want to combine any kit, first in that kit from outside the country, it costs about 400,000 naira. Let me really clear to you, as 2 days ago, we received a partnership that would be, that kit that was sold at a rate of 550,000 naira will now go for 210. That means with the cost of just around maybe 600, 650, it will be easy for us to convert the car compared to 1.2 that people spent to convert their car last year. It's coming down. Let's just take our time. Let's car Farabale. It's coming down.
Okay, now you are talking about the president saying Farabale, things will become better. But let me ask you this question. Do you think, as someone in the CNG sector, how do you respond to accusations that the Tinubu administration favors imported CNG technology over building local capacity?
Now, the aspect of in that aspect, I believe that Nigerian has not got to the level where we can produce all this stuff. It's as a kind of, we look at it, the kit that we use to convert is comprised of the compressors, the sensors, and so many things. Nigeria has not got to that level.
To produce tanks in Nigeria?
We don't know to the electronic kits. Then compared to the tanks, if you look at the weight, like based on the research we did, if you drop the tank from top of Cocoa House, if you drop it, it will bounce back as soon as it hit the floor.
And Nigeria do not have the raw material to produce that kind of tank?
Yeah, where are our steel company? They fold up. Yeah, I know. As time goes,
that is an indictment on the current administration.
Yes, they are bringing it up. They are bringing everything.
They have not done it.
Yes, it's in pipeline. It's in pipeline. Everything we can't just do everything one day. We have to take our time to make sure that things are done at the right time, at the right appropriate for people. Everything will be done for us.
All right.
Yeah.
Again, talking about safety of CNG in Nigeria, what do you have to say to Nigerian people, especially motorists, who are always afraid of boarding vehicles that has been converted to CNG?
Yeah, I made it clear to them. If CNG conversion technology emanated from Italy, that shows that CNG usage in Nigeria should not be something that will scare the people that enter as commercial vehicles. Now, one of the things that I want to let you know is this. Now, there are a lot of safety that have been put in place. Now, that tank have what we call valve at the mouth. One day I was driving, and the car hit a company car at the back. You know what happened to the car? The car stopped supplying gas. So that valve, it has a kind of computerized sensor on it. So once it sends any heat, it stops the flow of gas. So I have to make it clear that it will be extremely difficult for people to say that cars that have an accident, that has an accident, that use CNG got exploded and it's disturbed a lot of things. The safety is there, and I believe that Nigerians should keep calm, because the people that convert for them, that convert the motorists, they are not just anybody. They are people that know the nitty-gritties of the technology. Now let me add to this. Most of those that are into CNG conversion, they are not school staff holder. They are not ND holder, engineers, PhD holders. So these are people that understand the concept, and they don't just bring anything. Now I've made it clear. Whenever we are working in our workshop, I train the staffs. Now, after conversion, I have to sit with them to make sure that everything that they do are in accordance with the safety procedure. The tank, the gas pipe, make sure that it's properly laid, look at it, everything. So once you check it out, so we check the test. Once it's okay, then that's when we now ask our staff to go and fill it. They will do the calibration. So in terms of safety, I believe the people in charge are doing their best to make sure that none of the cars that we use in Nigeria got separated through the use of CNG.
And do you train drivers whose vehicles you have converted?
Yeah.
On safety protocols, procedures?
Yeah. The guy came to our office, came to pick his commercial vehicle on Monday. So he started this guy, said the car is no more. Okay, so these are the things you have to do. Go back to the back of the seat or the boat, look at it, and we'll train him how to off and off the tank, the supply of tank. So most of them get to know that. Now he said he want to go and do some other things on his car. I said, sir, if you are doing this, make sure your car is not exploded or very close to where they are doing doing the panel splitting job or welding job. Let there be safety in your own mind. So you don't allow anything that could cause the problem for your car or for the life of people that enter your car.
Would you say Tinubu's policies are designed to empower technicians like you or to create new oligopolies in the energy sector, just like the fuel subsidy scam?
What I think about the president's policy is that the policy is not meant to empower. The policy is meant to empower and to create jobs.
For some people, engineers like you.
Not only engineers. Most of the people that you employ, they are graduates, technician, normal, the roadside mechanic. We train them. But there are some things we don't know that the doesn't know. So we train them on how to fix it. We train mechanics. We train the panel beaters. Then at the same time, we also have to train some people, the electrical guys, the wire. We train them. But when it comes to issue, one of the things I have to do, when it comes to the issue of calibration, after we've added the kit, added the tank, the other thing we have to do, we have to calibrate the car with software before it can work. That is when we come in to make sure that there are safety that to be met. So the policy is not meant for but it's meant to create job. And I can see it has created millions of jobs. In our own workshop system, I think we've empowered or we train close to 100, and people that work with us directly or indirectly, they are close to 40 or 50.
Okay.
Here in Ibadan.
Okay. Now, going about that, I would like to ask this very question, which is very important for the people watching right now. If you are just joining us, this is The Big Story on Dominion Television. The show is still Daybreak Live, but of course, this is The Big Story. And I have had with me in the studio this morning, Deji Oyinloye, as PhD in computer science, but of course, is an expert in CNG and cybersecurity. We think we have been doing justice to the issue of CNG being the game changer Nigeria needs. Now, do you think the CNG initiative is sustainable without a reliable electricity grid and the proper gas distribution networks, both which are under federal jurisdiction?
Yeah, talking about the electrical grid, that is for the...
And then the gas distribution in the country. How feasible do you think the use of CNG would work in a country like Nigeria, where we really do not have the gas network?
I have to mention some company names. A few.
You don't mention company names.
Okay,
if you do, you pay for advertisements.
Okay. Now, our company got a contract from a foreign company that came to Nigeria to set up CNG gas plants. They don't sell to motorists. They sell to refilling centers. So we already see all those big trucks.
Big trucks.
Yeah. It's along Shagamu Expressway. Now, most of the guys that work there, they are experts. Now, as I'm talking to you, they employ close to 60 or 100 Nigerians that work on this station. That's another thing. So infrastructure are there. And the government is putting everything, making everything like that. Bringing all this, or bringing the kids, bringing all the necessary take that into Nigeria are done without problem, without paying excessive custom fee, paying tax on it. So we need to take our time. In few weeks, no, in few months, I believe it comes to a time that Nigerians should be able to, every Nigerian should be able to convert this car to CNG.
Well, there's a perception in town that this government, this Tinubu-led administration, is promoting a short-term energy alternative in the country. Is CNG one of the short-term energy alternatives?
CNG has come to stay.
You think so?
Yeah, that's because nothing can stop the use of CNG. I believe after the first tenure of the president, the second time, yeah, I believe that will come to pass. Yeah, I knew most of the things we'll be able to see the effect of what he is doing. I'll give you an analysis. Driving from here to Abuja, using Toyota Corolla, will cost you not less than 11,000 naira from here to Abuja. But if you are using petrol, you can't spend not less than 65,000 naira. One day I was at the filling station. Each time I go there, I speak with the motorists, the tricycle, Marua, those guys that comes there to fuel. I interviewed them. How do you see this thing? He said, one man said, ever since when he was born, I think that should be 65, but he runs an Uber business. He said, this is the first time that we ever enjoy the government of Nigeria. The guy uses 6-cylinder car, and he flies Lagos. So each time he goes to Lagos, instead of spending 45,000 on gas, on petrol, he just spends 6,000 naira. So you have to save another 35,000 naira. Now, all these guys, the 3 tricycle guys, they're making a lot of money. They spend not less than 3,000 naira onto gas. But if you are using the petrol, they can't spend no less than 15,000 naira, 15 to 20 naira per day. Look at it.
And how has that affected cost of transportation?
Yeah, that's one of the things that the government is doing now. Now, the government, under the office of the Presidential Committee on CNG initiative, the compulsory or at the conversion center in Nigeria, that you must go to the street, go to the garage, and convert their company to CNG. Now, by the time that is done, I believe by the time that is done for some months now.
Some people have converted already, and they are making more money.
Yeah, good.
But they are not looking at the side of the commuters.
Yeah, because the fact that they do not cars that have converted to the number that have not converted is not all that encouraging. So they can't just force them. One person cannot just drop the price because he's using CNG in the garage. So by the time 60% or 80% of them have converted to CNG, it will be easy for the PCNG guys. We assisted you. Can they please drop this thing? Oyo State government is doing its own, running fleet from here to Lagos to Abuja and the like, and they are giving at a very affordable price.
Now, this question is for you. If you weren't benefiting directly from the CNG sector, would you still support the administration's broad economic and energy policies?
Ever since when I came back to the country, I've never for once said anything against any government.
Would you still have supported this administration's energy
because
policies?
I believe something that, okay, outside this, most of the things I'm doing in the country now, running as a company, they're the things that I saw outside the country. Our company specializes in automatic gate. We install automatic gate. Now, I saw this when I went for a training in South Africa.
You saw an opportunity?
Yeah, I saw it. When I went for, I lodged in an apartment, and the guy gave me the remote control. Like, can I use this remote control to open the gate? I said, Nigeria, we use key. Why do you give me this? So the following, after I returned from school in the evening, I knocked the gate. When I knock, I said, Moses, why do you have to knock? I said, this is not a key. It's also, you step out, use the remote control, and you get open. After some time, I came back, took back to the car, and I looked at this machine. I wrote the company that produced it. I brought it to the country. So what I'm saying is that Nigerians should be open to problems and how to solve the problem. And one of the problems we have to solve is that the problem of energy. I saw it in 2010. And now, I told my wife when Tinubu Baba said, and then that's come to what do you call this thing, to subsidy. I said, this is the time that we have to implement what I saw in 2010. And whatever and to my mind, to me, if I don't do it, I'll suffer. And I did all it could to make sure that we use this thing to assist. Not even getting the money is not there. Let me make it clear to you. There's no money in conversion.
You are saying there's no money in conversion.
So it's just a passion. Yes.
You are doing it for passion.
No, you did. Yes, let me make it clear. You can't only will you earn. You can't forget up to 100,000 in a car.
And how many cars will you convert in a day?
max, we can't convert more than 2 or 3. Max 2, and we have like about, if you want to convert 3 cars, we have most about six staff. And you have to take their salary. They are not, most of those guys that come out with it, that work with us, they earn more than people that works in the bank.
They earn more than people that works in the bank.
Yes.
So you think that is an employment opportunity created by this administration?
Yeah, but that's for people that doesn't go to school.
And how many people are in that sector as we speak?
I can say just few, because people doesn't know me. They are still afraid.
Do you do trainings?
Yeah, we train. We started training last year May. We trained a lot of people. People travel far away from Port Harcourt, Benin. We've trained, they've started state of their own. Yeah, that was last year, not here, this year.
And then what does it cost to train?
Yeah. The first training we did free. Then after that, we made it to 50,000. Then presently now we are doing a free training for people that want to learn how to convert in Ibadan. If you want to convert, just reach out to us. We convert at zero fee, as the government is doing for the commercial buses in Nigeria.
Now, still talking about the private players, the government removed fuel subsidies to encourage a switch to CNG. Has this move truly benefited average Nigerians, or is it just a way to create an avenue, a shop for a few players?
So the old world, the old world set aside for a man that knows where he's going. That's why it's hardly hard for the president to just listen to any advice. So if you know where you're going, you have to be purposeful, but you have to take some time to ask some people, what I'm doing, is benefiting a lot of people? Not in terms of cash, but in terms of the pollution. Let's talk about the pollution. It's reduced pollution. So it's made it green for people. You can't just be driving and you are exploding. How do you see a car that runs that brings out smoke? Unless the engine is not working perfectly.
You seem to be on the same page with the president.
Yes, of course.
You are the president's son.
I'm not.
But you are enjoying this administration. In your own words, put this administration on a board. Their scorecard so far.
So far, I can't say anything against the president. The president is performing very well.
He's doing very well.
Very, very well. No.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
I'll give about 9.
You give the president 9?
Yeah, 9.
People are screaming on the street.
They're screaming because, okay, good. I love the way you are putting things across to people. Now, I'll channel some things to you. They are comparing the cars that run on CNG. We've used it to set up a farm here in Ibadan. Yeah. Yes. Along Edo local government. Now, what it entails is that when, say, Jack Man, the founder of Alibaba, said, people complain where there are opportunities. People are just complaining, but there are a lot of opportunities around them. They don't see. Why only the CNG? Why only the cybersecurity? Why only about that thing? The other thing that people can do to make money in the country, there are a lot of problems in the country that need to be solved by Nigerians. And once they solve it, they make it.
What is the relationship between CNG conversion and cybersecurity?
It's different. Cyber.
But you chose to do the two at the same time.
Yeah, I train. I lecture students on cybersecurity, and it's the way I train, because the passion. That's what I did. That was one of the research I did during my PhD. So it's interesting. Then the CNG business is the kind of platform to recruit, to train and to empower the masses. So cybersecurity has the number of people you can train. But this CNG, I mean, there's no. I have made it clear. So those are ready to learn. They're ready to break from poverty. If they understand the concept, it will be easy for them to forget about the suffering and take in the new life that will transform their life to the new page.
Now, for the people who are watching us from home, I want to ask you this question, and especially for people who are still thinking or maybe still pondering on whether to convert their vehicles to CNG. What are the safety standards and protocols involved in CNG vehicle conversion?
Good. One of the things that the government has done first is that most of the CNG kits that we use in the country are certified by SON1. Any conversion center that will set up the service center in Nigeria must be approved by NADDC, National Automotive Development Agency, and by PCNGI. What does that mean is that they have to come on the inspection, they will inspect the facility you have, and they make sure that the person that is setting up knows about it. One of the things is certification. They have to check, okay, the head of the company, does he have any skill?
Is he certified?
Certified. So we are trained in it. It's one of the things that gave us the upper head. Yeah, so the safety is there. So those that convert the roadside, there are some that are not certified, they convert. I will advise people not to go to them. But there are a lot of conversion centers in your state. There are a lot of conversion centers in Nigeria that they can patronize. And if they go to them, it will be easy for them to be sure of their safety and of the safety of their life.
How do you know if a conversion center is certified?
Good. They are there on the NADDC site. For the illiterate, I think it will be difficult for them to know.
That's the question.
Yeah, that's just it. I think they have to keep on asking questions, or whenever they come across a company that converts, maybe they ask them for their approval. If they have the approval before they can patronize them.
And what kind of vehicles, what type of vehicles are most eligible for conversion?
Any car that has tire can be converted.
Any vehicle?
Any vehicle that has tire in as much is still moving.
Still moving.
It's convertible to CNG.
Now, talking about every car, there are cars that are no longer roadworthy. Are you converting those ones too?
No, there are a lot of cars.
They still move. But then, you know this car is no longer roadworthy. You still convert those vehicles
We convert
too.
them, yeah. They are not roadworthy, but I have to be it's in that side that before we convert the car, we have to kind of do a kind of test to check. And those tests that are not making the car to be roadworthy, we ask them to fix it. When they fix it, we convert it to CNG.
So what is the current price of CNG package?
Packages, it's now in Lagos 230, but they are selling 380. We don't know the reason why they have to increase it from 230 to 230. I think the government can also look into this. Yeah.
The price has increased?
It has increased only in Ibadan.
In Ibadan?
Yes.
Wow.
Lagos still maintain their 230 per SCM.
And what incentives or subsidies are available for CNG adoption in Nigeria? Just like you mentioned earlier, are there other incentives?
Yeah, the first is that those that bring in kits and other infrastructure, CNG infrastructure in Nigeria, attract zero custom fee. Those that bring in CNG powered vehicle to the country also attract zero import fee.
So after importing, they sell to you on a cheap.
Yeah, very cheap.
So you can also sell to the people and convert their vehicles on the cheap.
Right, yes.
And then, in the next 5 years, where do you see CNG in Nigeria?
Next 5 years? I think that close to 80 to 70% of Nigerian cars that run the Nigerian roads must be converted to CNG, if not more. Yes.
Now, are there any environmental challenges associated with CNG use?
No, not at all.
None?
Not at all.
No emission whatsoever?
Nothing, not at all.
Okay. Thank you for being a part of the show this morning.
Thank you.
It has been a wonderful session with you.
Thank you.
We do hope that next time we call you, you'll be here.
Yes, of course.
All right, I have had with me in the studio this morning on The Big Story, Deji Oyinloye, who happens to be a CNG expert and, of course, a cybersecurity expert. We do hope that next time we call you, you'll be here.
Yeah, of course.
That's it on The Big Story for today. As Nigeria seeks lasting solution to its energy crisis, we do hope that conversions around CNG must go beyond the studio and into actionable policy. But of course, I have another guest in the studio with me this morning. And before I go, let me bring an author into the studio and then see exactly the story of growth. And of course, when we talk about perseverance, what exactly does it mean? We'll be back after this time out. Keep it locked. It is still Dominion Television. The show is Daybreak Live, and this is The Big Story. short break. The show is still Daybreak Live on Dominion Television, and this is the big story. I have with me in the studio an author who has written a book, wrote a story, and put it together for people to actually learn, read, and grab something from it. In the studio with me this morning is Musliuddin Atanda Adebayo, who is the author of Defying Expectations, my story of perseverance from conductor to journalist. Good morning to you, Mr.
Good morning.
This is a very, very big story here. And then how did you manage to put this together?
It's by the grace of God.
Your inspiration?
Yes, but we have a lot of people over there that have had similar stories or even more pathetic stories more than I do. But you can only do things that God has perfected. You can only do things that God has decreed to happen. So all the praises go to the Almighty God, the giver of true knowledge, who gave me the opportunity and the zeal to put down the book, and it became a reality.
Is the book based on your personal experience or those of others too?
No, it's my personal experience, because from the title, Defying Expectations, my story of perseverance from conductor to journalist, you know, it said it all. That it's all about my struggles in the last 40 years. Yes, I was born on the April 20, 1985. So, and by the grace of God, I was 40 years old on the April 20. That was last month, 2025. So I look back, I look at my story, my struggles, you know, from the early days, the nurturing period, undergraduate days, and the time, most especially at a time when I went to engage myself as a bus conductor in Lagos. You know, between 2004 and 2009, I was a bus conductor at the CMS Park 4 at Marina, Lagos, Lagos Island. So at that time, I was still struggling, you know, to acquire university education. It was at that period that I went to write another WAEC, that is GC. The GC was, I wrote it at the Bonny Camp. No, not Bonny Camp, sorry. Dodan Barracks. So I wrote it at Dodan Barracks, Obalende. So, and let me say this, that the GC I wrote at that time happened to be the best, because in that, I got B2 in government, I got A1 in economics, and I got CCs in literature, in English, you know, and even mathematics I got B3.
Now, so what challenges did you face while putting this together?
You see, nothing good comes easy. Definitely. You even if there is nothing you can become that you not face challenges. But you see, if you are able to pass, if you are able to endure, if you are able to, it's all about perseverance, you know, consistency. If you are consistent with, like Yoruba used to say that, ibiti alagbede ba tin lorin, you see, there is something good will come out. So nothing good comes easy. No, whatever you want, even if you want to build house, you will face a lot of challenges. The problem of homonile, land grabbers, even the bricklayers, the carpenters, the weather, they may even disappoint you. But if you keep moving, irrespective of the odds, irrespective of the challenges, if you keep moving and you pray to God, you have that belief that this thing I want to achieve it. Definitely,
what core message do you think readers can actually get from this book?
Yes, this book, I wrote it purposely in order to inspire people, in order to encourage youth, especially those of us that came from, you know, poor background. You understand? People that do not have the means, because at that time, there was nothing, I mean, there was no other options than for me to, you know, engage myself in all sorts of menial jobs, because I was determined to achieve university education.
Musliuddin, where can they get this book? Where will potential buyers get this book?
Yes, the potential buyers, they can call me because it's a self-published book. Okay. So
and you sell by yourself too?
Yes. So a copy goes for 5,000 naira now, and I can be reached through 081-3804-4276. So, and my email address uniquemusliudeen@gmail.com. I'm on
any social media handle?
Yes, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on LinkedIn. So my Facebook name is Andu, is Adebayo Musliudeen Atanda, and my Twitter handle is @Musliudeen @X. You know, former Twitter, so X.
Yes.
So
Musliudeen Atanda Adebayo, thank you for joining us in the studio this morning.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Musliudeen Atanda Adebayo is a multi-talented professional with expertise in social work, journalism, and authorship. Thank you for being a part of the show this morning. We do hope that next time we'll call you on this book. More time, we'll get to discuss about it. The show is still Daybreak Live on Dominion Television, and of course, this is the big story. Now let's head to our sports desk as our host this morning, Solu, is waiting for us on the other hand. We'll be back after this time out.
Good morning and welcome to Daybreak Sport on your channel of choice, Dominion Television. I am Abe Paul Toluwanimi, and this beautiful morning I'll be taking you through the round of world of sports this morning. Moving away from that, we're moving straight into the local scene, where we have the Conference Federation, the Nigerian National League table for Conference A, Conference B, and also the fixtures coming up right there. This is the conference table where we have Warri Wolves leading the Conference A table with 30 points with 14 games played. Also, we have Smart City also on the Conference A log table. Moving away from that, match day 18, we have Conference B table where we have the Kun Khalifat also topping that table right there. Also, we have Osun United also with 16 games played topping with 30 points on the second log of the table on the Conference B. Moving away from that, these are the fixtures that are coming thick and fast right there in the Nigerian National League games. The Conference A, we have Beyond Limit. They're going to play their game 3 p.m. against Smart City FC. Also, we have Inter Lagos. They're going to welcome Dakada FC right there by 4 p.m. We have Ijele FC against Agbajo FC right there by 3 p.m. Also, we have Warri Wolves. They're going to welcome Abia Comet right there FC in the Conference A. In the Conference B, we have Madiba against Gospel Akpabio by 4 p.m. is the time where they're going to play. And also, we have First Bank FC against Solution FC. The game's going to happen by 1 p.m. Also, still away from the Nigerian National League, we're heading straight down to the world of basketball, and we have the Tigress homecoming tournament happening on the 18th till the 20th of July 2025. This is going to take place right there in Abuja, and the event serve as a preparation for the platform for the Tigress right there. They're going to have their first game against Rwanda alongside Mozambique for that preparation for the upcoming tournament right there. So we're wishing the girls a safe journey through Abuja, and also a big game coming up. Moving away from we have an update coming through from the president of FIFA. We are talking about Gianni Infantino saying a big congratulations to Remo Stars, for clinching the title right there in the MPFL. He's saying a big congratulations to them, and he's reaching out through the president of the Nigeria Football Federation, Musa Gasao, right there. By the means of this letter, I am pleased to congratulate the new champions of Nigeria, Remo Stars. That's the update coming through from the FIFA president. Moving away from that, we still have major stories surrounding the Unity Cup, and this is coming through from the Jamaica team, the Reggae Boys they call them, and this is their team for the Unity Cup. Right there we have the goalkeeper's position, Sean Davis, we have Benjamin Williams, and also Tarif Chambers right there for the Jamaican boys. Also in the defense line we have Richard King, Mason Allgate, Dexter Lambegisa, and also we have Kyla Ming, Bell, Greg Lee, and Stephen Young for the defense position for the Reggae Boys. Also moving away from that, let me let you know that the Unity Cup is going to start right there from May 27th to May the 31st 2025 at the Brentford Stadium right there, the community stadium in London. And the first match is going to happen on Tuesday, May the 27th, where Jamaica are going to welcome Trinidad Tobago, and also our very own Nigeria are going to take on Ghana. So the winners of this game is going to play either the winners of Trinidad Tobago or Jamaica. That's the update coming through on the 31st of May right there in London. So this one game also for the preparations for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Moving away from that, we're heading straight down to the world of basketball, and it's not looking so good for Minnesota Timberwolves. You know, a team that knocked out the Lakers and also Golden State Warriors. They have had a 2 setback in the playoffs game final right here, and they lost to OKC in that beautiful encounter is 118 to 103. And the MVP for this year, the MVP once again, I'm sorry, for the NBA, Alexandra Shea, you know, has done something great right there, having 30 points on the top of the table for OKC Thunders. Moving away from that, the world of tennis, the Roland Garros right here is happening in Paris, and the first round is going to happen. These are the fixtures coming thick and fast right there in the world of tennis. Moving away from that, we have major fixtures. The first round also, Zheng is going to welcome Pavlos Kova also in the first round. Moving away from that, also we have major semi-final game between Rabaninka against Admaya. Also, moving away from the fixtures of the WTA, we have the ATP. Also, major fixtures are coming thick and fast in the world of tennis. Moving away from the world of tennis, we are heading straight down to the Premier League. It's going to be a big one, a big one in the Premier League right there this weekend. Looking at the top of the table, Manchester City are going to welcome Fulham. They have 68 points. We have Newcastle. We're going to welcome Everton. They have 66 points. We have Chelsea are going to play away to Nottingham Forest with 66 points. We have Aston Villa are going to play away to Manchester United with 66 points, and also Nottingham Forest also are going to welcome Chelsea. So this is what it's looking like right now in the Premier League, and every team, you know, as shown right now, must have a point. If not, it looks more scary for Chelsea and Nottingham Forest. Moving away from the Premier League, we're heading straight down to the Serie A, where the battle is thick and fast with just 1 point, and one of this team must pick up points right there in the Serie A today. Moving away from the Serie A, Italy, we're headed straight down into the team of the season for the Europa League. Remember, Tottenham Hotspur, you know, picked up the victory against Manchester United in Spain, 1-0 to secure, you know, their 17-year wait of a major trophy. And Ryan Cherki picked up the young player of the season, and also we have Romero right there, Christian Romero picking up the player of the season 2024-2025 right here. Moving away from the Europa League, we're going to look at the teams that we have qualified right here for the Champions League. We have Ajax, we have Arsenal, we have Atalanta, we have Athletic Club, we have Atletico Madrid, FC Barcelona, Bayern Munich, we have Borussia Dortmund, Eintracht Frankfurt, we have Galatasaray, we have Inter Milan, Bayern Leverkusen, Liverpool, Marseille, Monaco, Napoli, Olympiacos, Paris. We have PSV, Real Madrid, Slavia Prague, Sporting CP, Tottenham Hotspur, and also Villarreal. These are the teams that who have qualified for the next year Champions League. Still taking sport update for you. Let me let you know that FC Barcelona's captain, the vice captain Rafinha, you know, has signed a new deal until 2028. Remember, also the manager Hansi Flick also signed a new contract right there until 2027. Moving away from the Rafinha story, let me let you know that the Football Writer Association, Mohamed Salah, picked up the award, and also Russo also add that in the locker. Let me let you know that Mohamed Salah also played for Liverpool with 28 goals and providing 18 assists right here in the Premier League. Also, let me let you know that Alex Russo also plays for Arsenal and also had 12 goals in the Women's Super League and also 8 goals in the UEFA Women's League right there. Moving away from the award, this is coming true for Kylian Mbappe, picking up the player of the season for Real Madrid. That is for Kylian Mbappe and Real Madrid. Moving away from that, let me let you know that Luka Modric is set to leave Real Madrid. The midfielder will end his time at the club after 13 years following his summer club World Cup. And let me let you know that he has played 590 matches for the 3 goals, 95 assists, and 6 Champions League with 4 La Liga and Copa del Rey right there for Luka Modric. That's all we can take right there in the world of sport this beautiful morning on your channel of choice, Dominion Television. I am Abepo Toluwanimi. Over to you, Samson, Pat, and AB in the studio.
Welcome back from that short break. That was Daybreak Sports with Tolu and Paul Abe right there on Daybreak Live Extra on Dominion Television. Don't forget the show is still Daybreak Live, and of course you can be a part of the conversation by linking up with us on our YouTube channel at Dominion Broadcast on YouTube. Subscribe to that channel, drop your comments there, and of course be a part of the conversation. Now it's time for Trend Watch on Dominion Television this morning.
All right, the first story here is I am not sure anyone has traveled more than me. Actress Angela Okorie brags as she shows off our used Nigerian passports.
Wow.
And I counted the passports 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 till 11.
11 passports.
Well, how were you able to count?
I was able to count it.
How
There was
can
a
you
picture
count
there,
all this
actually.
back?
There was a
How?
picture there, and
How?
I was able to count. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
11 passports. You're able to count 11.
Yes.
Maybe she has more, and she's not.
And
actually
she's just showing
displaying.
us this. And there, we have comments.
All right, the comment there says, boy TDC says, Nato tell Igwe to give him award.
For the best traveler in Nigeria.
You and Miriam Charles 71 says, people when don't travel, I mean reach travel. Not they do this one.
Well, at least you know, sometimes people don't get to talk about things. They just keep it in their closet, and then
How
they
many
do.
you want begin to talk?
I mean, you know, there are people who travel almost every other day.
Every day, sir.
Every day, yes, or every week.
They just
Every day.
For
they just travel
Every
from one
day.
place to the other,
Okay.
and then you know,
Well,
that's
it's
just,
okay.
that should not be a big deal.
so maybe
actually.
Pat, you go they count your passport now.
11 passports.
How many you get? And in terms of this passport, we don't even know how many of the passports were really travelable as in have visas. It may have just
Of course,
expired.
they
And you have
expired.
to get a new
You
one.
know,
You know what she says? She has never been denied visa.
Wow.
Really?
Yes.
Well,
Interesting.
that still does not mean that all the pages on the passports actually have stamps on them. So it means that at one point or the
It's
other,
just a show off.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just an unnecessary show.
until
off,
she
if you
opens
ask me.
and then start showing us how many visas are on this
Then we'll
passport.
know
Well,
you
maybe
have
she will
really,
convince us.
nobody has traveled like you. Indeed.
And away from there, that's something really interesting.
Okay, we have this. A man with no money, no plan, no discipline, has no business chasing love. Clergy.
That's
Woman in
MME
that
song. Yeah.
Saying has no business chasing love. Why are you
I
chasing
mean,
love?
that's quite harsh actually, because
What's harsh
everyone deserves to be loved.
She's saying the truth now.
But everyone deserves to be loved.
You don't have money, you want to chase me. What for?
What if
So
you
it
know?
takes money to chase you.
Yes.
How much are you worth?
Don't let me tell you now because you are a female. You are a woman.
But I can
You are
just
a
know
lady.
now.
No, don't just know.
Okay,
What
tell
if-
me.
If Samson
Tell
is
Samson.
asking, Samson is
Samson
not
asks.
asking. Samson is not asking.
Maybe what if after chasing you and the money starts trickling in, and then it becomes the big shot.
Go possible.
So Pat, for you, money first.
Yes, before you tell me you
They're
love.
coming down, and we have comments there actually.
All right, you can take the comments.
Yeah, it says one day for this life, time to go. Time go come when we say to fall in love now according to your net worth
Yes.
between man and woman. If you no get, now to find
Hide
who
your
no get.
face. Hide your face. If you don't get money,
You know, if you no
hide
get,
your
find person
face.
we no get. Go
No,
love that
you-
person.
hide your
love you.
face.
And now,
And no, the one where they read, not be your own
And
comment.
I had a joy. Hide your face. And the
Okay,
one,
so the next, this comment, I don't understand. A person, good. A man, X. What do you interpret?
well,
of
it's saying that the woman said a person will not get money and
Okay.
not man.
Not
You're not
man.
referring to
Okay.
a man.
So it could be either.
she wasn't actually quite clear about what she was saying.
So the person was trying to
means that
correct.
there was this lacuna somewhere where someone has tried to crawling.
All right, now still love matter. Or
Okay, your man. Okay, go ahead.
Your man is not primarily your friend, lover, or mate. He's first your leader. Clergyman Kingsley Okonkwo tells
I mean,
women.
I don't agree. I don't agree with that.
Why?
I don't agree with that because you know, primarily for you to build a bond, you must be a friend to your partner, and then after that, you become lovers, and then you become playmates like that. So if all that is removed, I mean, leading her where is it not until you become friends and then become lovers
Before
that you
now
start chatting
lead.
the way forward?
I think he's mostly talking about married couple. I want to believe that's why he's
It
saying
doesn't
that.
matter. You have to be friends first. So
But what's your take?
Who are you leading when you are not
I'm
even
leaving
good
you
at
and
it?
Samson to do
No,
the-
what's your take on it?
My take.
Like Pamson says, friendship first before leadership. Do you
Well,
agree?
that's you're talking about stages in communication, right? Well, there are stages.
Answer question, I beg. Which one be stages in communication? We are talking about primary, your friend. You there
Well,
for communication.
the thing is-
What's wrong with you?
The thing is, fine. I wouldn't agree to this man. I love him so much, but then if you want to enjoy your marriage, first you have to be friend with your partner, to love her, and of course
Before
to
he becomes
become a
your leader.
because that's
Okay.
where you know that okay, he's my friend, and for you to be someone's leader, you must be that person's friend. You must be able to like, what's wrong with you? As a
able
leader,
to
you must
reach
be
that
able to
person
read
from
that
afar.
person.
You know, even in anywhere, not just for relationship, even in your
Anywhere.
workplace, even people you just meet as colleagues. Okay, I'll take some of these interesting comments. This one says, at this point, I don't want to lead again. Let her be the leader and take care of me. And yes, my name is Princess Kiara. I'm not fit again. You know what that Princess Kiara means? Yes, like, I don't turn woman now.
I
Please
mean,
take
she
care
had to
of
take the
me.
leadership
All right,
mantle and then leave
Portia's, what's that?
Hope
All right.
_ hope.
Okay, Portia's Hope says, I accept my man, my everything.
including my leader.
Cooking with Diva says, sure he is, but then it's only a man in his masculinity that can lead fully.
Let's talk
Till he has
about
proven to be a leader, no one will see him as that.
Actually, that's not because of the muscle. She's not talking about
No,
the
of
muscle
course,
mass.
not muscle masculinity.
talking about
Showing that
So
you're
it's
a
talking
man
about
indeed.
how masculine
How
your
manly
pocket
are
is.
you?
What
Not
Imam
body, not
Isong
physical
said earlier.
attributes.
You see what I am saying? What Imam Isong said earlier.
You can have physical attributes and not be
You know, you can have a
manly,
lot
so
of
to
muscles
say.
and then
Muscle
there'll
not be
it's-
muscle they
that's-
show love.
That doesn't actually make you a
six
man,
pack. Six pack not the
If
push
you
food
get
for
if you
table.
get 100 packs, then but me kuku she dey your.
And other things, you know, like the other room things, it's not working. You understand?
Eddie, where are you going?
No, it's part of it.
Where are you
I mean, how you
going?
go carry 6 packs? You know, if it's, you understand?
Okay, away from there this morning
okay.
we got another comment on that, and that's the story of Tottenham Hotspur defeating Manchester United to claim, you know, the UEFA Europa League. But Manchester United fans, I don't think they are actually out of that already, because some of them are still sobbing. I know Benga is still very angry that they lost. They are not going to play in the UEFA Champions League next season. They are not even going to play in Europe.
No
And
wonder
Dr.
that-
Amos
no-
too, director, you know, they are still
No
very
wonder
angry.
is it me? This
Yeah,
morning
no.
I was like, what is it?
Even
Kilo-
Engineer Tayo is really angry they lost.
Oh, which was she today?
But it's still trending on.
Where is she too?
She too.
She too is nowhere to be found.
She too supports Arsenal.
She too is clubless.
He supports Arsenal. Any team that wins, sha.
What of
No,
Mr.
yeah.
Michael?
Okay, we are in the same league.
No, they play for this. They support the same
Mr.
team.
Michael is
Any team
Liverpool.
Any team that wins, they are
Never
they are
walk
in
alone.
support.
Toby is there. Oh, Toby.
Toby doesn't
Okay,
like football.
okay,
Away
thank
from
you.
there, it is time
Okay.
to go this morning.
Yes, it is.
They have to go.
Every
And,
good thing they say comes to an end.
comes to an end.
Is it true?
Yeah.
Is it true?
Everything good. probably might come to and depends actually.
Well,
but then it's even better that it continues. But unfortunately, on this show this morning,
we just have to go. No matter what, we have to go.
Daybreak Live Extra. We'll say bye bye. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you for spending your money with us. Thank you for being a part of the show. Enjoy your weekend. Samson Balogun is my name.
And my name is Pat Aita, saying enjoy your weekend.
All right. Thank you so much. My name is Abby Dickinson. But before we go, Samson, you know, you said thank you for spending your money with us. It sounded like saying thank you for spending your money. Oh. I was like, is there money being spent here? Well, no, but it's morning. I understand. It's morning. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next week for another edition of Daybreak Live. And of course, don't forget to join us on Friday for Daybreak Extra. My name is Abby Dickinson. God bless you. Have a wonderful, fabulous, fantastic Friday. Mwah.